Right, I'm delighted to be joined by Ben Davis, boxer, commentator, and now reality TV star. The challenge, vets and new threats. Now, you've been around some intimidating men, even Francis Ngannou. But when it comes to the scariest person you've ever met, I imagine even he pales in comparison to the great CT.
Oh, I mean, Chris Tamborello is a monster like no other. And while I've had such great experience in the combat sports landscape and have been around menacing fighters, when CT comes into the kitchen, you know that big man's about to eat.
We talk about CT there. I mentioned Francis Ngannou. So, a question for you, the obvious one. Would you rather do a Hall Brawl with CT or take a body shot from Francis Ngannou?
Oh man, I think that I would rather do the Hall Brawl against CT because there are ways to win against larger competitors in Hall Brawls, right? If I just have to sit there and eat a body shot, then there is nothing I can do. But with CT, maybe I can like tie up the legs or squirt around him. I don't know. But yeah, I think I'd rather do the Hall Brawl.
Now, we've talked about CT, somebody who I love on the challenge. I know he's a
Mm.
controversial character. He came on, I believe, the 33rd series, and he's got a bit of a mixed rep. He won the 33rd season, but he's had a bit of a mixed bag since then. Turbo, I think he's an amazing character. What is this man like in person, and what is your relationship like with him?
Turbo is a guy who is just so reserved and within himself. He kind of carries this really lone samurai-esque persona, which was funny to deal with and learn about. I mean, he had a crazy upbringing on, the streets and then forming himself into this reality TV star through, I believe, the Turkish version of Survivor, where it's like 6 months on an island. So this dude is a true animal. And throughout like the season of filming, he would just walk around in the house with a black poncho and a black fanny pack and like at times a black Speedo. And that was it. And so, it's this like menacing persona mixed with odd attire. And I never really could get a feel either way if Turbo liked me or not. But I tried to stay out of his way as much as possible.
Well, I hope that at some point Turbo had some respect for you and you had a good series together on the challenge.
Yeah.
Somebody else that needs talking about, the great Johnny Bananas, a seven-time
Mm.
champion. He's basically the Tom Brady of that world, the Muhammad Ali of that world, if you will. What was your relationship like with him? And in terms of misfits, you obviously commentate for them. Who would you like to match Johnny Bananas up with?
Oh, what's funny is I asked Johnny about competing in crossover boxing. I was like, dude, you could probably get paid a lot of money. We'd love to have you on Misfits. And he was like, I am too old to get punched in the face. He's like, maybe when I was younger, that could be done. But no, he's as advertised. Like Johnny Bananas is off camera the exact same as he is on camera, which was great in the sense of like I knew what to expect and what I was getting. But like very surreal. It's all of this was very surreal, right? Anytime that you are interacting on a 24/7 basis with people that you've watched on the TV for years and have seen them go through the ups and the downs of their respective reality TV tenures, like it is just odd. But I will say, like Johnny had one very funny moment. I don't know if I can share it or not, but we were doing this movie night. We were all getting this fun movie night going, and there was a big discussion about what we should watch, and nobody could really come to an answer. And so Johnny Bananas, as he does, interjects and just goes, "Nope, we're watching this." And then that's what we ended up doing, which was a film that I'd never seen before, but it was Team Combat America. It was the I believe South Park guys made that puppet stop motion
Yes.
flick. And it's created so many memes, but like I've never seen it. And it was not as good as the memes, if that makes sense, James. But I'll say this, the only thing that like elevated that viewing experience was every 2 minutes, the dumbest joke would be going on screen, and Johnny would just be cracking up on the fucking couch. And he'd be the only person laughing. So you've got dozens of people, and it's just Johnny laughing at some, dick jokes. But that's Johnny Bananas, right? So yeah, it was a fun time with him.
Yeah, we're talking Johnny Bananas, CT Turbo, some of these legends of the show. Obviously,
Mm.
mostly you're interacting with MMA legends. So, from the world of MMA and the world of boxing, who would you like to drag over into the challenge?
Oh man, I mean, it'd be hard to look no further than Conor McGregor, right? The guy is like perfectly built for something like reality TV. He has controversies every single day that he's not getting paid for, so he might as well get compensated for some of these crazy actions, right? I think that a few other people that could work in this environment, like maybe from Rob Dvalishvili, he has this unique personality, jumping into frozen lakes, standing on tall buildings. Like I think he could work within this framework of reality TV. I'm trying to think who is like the most emotional fighter on the roster right now, the most sensitive. Sean Strickland. Yeah. Okay. So Sean Strickland, who is just thin skinned as you could possibly get, he would be a perfect addition because, yeah, I think he would blow up and lose his mind quite quickly.
Yeah, I imagine you'd fancy Sean Strickland to beat CT in a pole wrestle. Could Sean Strickland not even pull that one off? I mean, that's a heavyweight matchup between two legends there.
Damn, I mean, that is some good hypothetical matchmaking. Prime CT and Prime Sean. Obviously CT's got the experience in the Hall Brawls and the pole wrestles, but Sean is quite well trained. So, dude, I don't know. I think if it's a Hall Brawl, I'm going CT. If it's a pole wrestle, I think that the grappling experience of Sean would give him the W.
100%. We're going to pitch that to MTV regardless. But obviously, moving away slightly from the challenge now, off the back of the weekend, Jake Paul obviously coming in with a huge win. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., obviously, I don't want to say a legend, but at one point in his career was a pretty good fighter, winning that WBC world title, but not the man he once was. Who do you want Jake Paul in there with next? Because he's obviously number 14 in the WBA rankings. He's pushing up towards the upper echelons of the sport.
Well, the problem with getting ranked that highly officially is there aren't many avenues for you to go next, right? I know that there was discussion about a Tommy Fury rematch, but I think that ship has completely sailed. And in my estimation, there's really only two opponents that stand in front of Jake Paul. Zurdo Ramirez, who was in that co-main event, of course, on MVP's card, or Badou Jack. And I'm not sure what Badou's future looks like in the sense of mandatory contenders, but if I was Team Jake Paul, I'm saying fuck the Zurdo Ramirez fight. We're going to get torn to pieces. Let's go for an aging, but still a world champion in Badou Jack, and that's the next one. I don't really want to see Jake compete against anyone that is going to perform like a Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who is just, a really career-long lighter weight class fighter who was, like you mentioned, never a legend, certainly renowned. And it's just time. We've been doing this for years and years and years. It's time, Jake. And I think that there is a good, tough, but good matchup in Badou Jack waiting for him.
So we talk about that Badou Jack matchup, and it would be amazing to see Jake in the ring with Badou Jack. But KSI is still obviously there in some capacity. You obviously know him very well through Misfits. At this point, what happens in a matchup between Jake Paul and KSI? What's your breakdown for that?
It's very, very hard. If I were to remove the names from the equation and you're just looking at them on paper, you would really have to lean towards Jake Paul because of the experience, the amount of times that he's made the walk. He has fought some decent caliber of competition. I'd say that certainly eclipses what JJ's been able to do inside the ring. And for me, it's activity, right? It's momentum. We have not seen KSI since October of 2023, since that defeat to Tommy Fury. And from that point forward, it's just been Jake making the walk against name after name after name. Varying degrees of legitimacy and difficulty level, sure, but it's still getting out there and training and being immersed in that lifestyle. I know that KSI, we love how diverse he is and how his time and energy is almost infinite in what he can create. But the reality is, with all the projects that he has going on, the baller leagues, the Britain's Got Talents, those are moments where he's not in the gym. And where is Jake Paul? He's in the fucking gym, right? So obviously with my working relationships, I can't, give really too much of an official thought, but it would be a very, very hard battle for KSI to, I think, win this fight if it happened today. But that's where he's been best when he's counted out. So, I'd still love to see it, but man, Jake is, he's competent. I'll give him that.
100%. I mean, we've talked about some of your memories, whether it be the challenge or commentating yourself. You've had a crazy story so far. What is the best memory you've had? Because you must have had some crazy things happen to you over the years.
Yeah, no, it really has been an odd journey in the last 3-4 years, and one that I was never anticipating occurring. My whole, I would say, operative was just making the most of everything, maximizing every single day and room that I was able to finagle my way into. But I don't know. I mean, I think that in terms of memories that I cherish that rise above the rest, the BKFC experience was great. It was a very, very fun side quest to go on. Obviously, the fight didn't go my way, but that's not really important to me in a one way, shape, or form. I know, obviously, Ben, it's a fight. You were fighting. What do you mean that's not important? Because I'm I don't consider myself a fighter. Like I trained my ass off. I was confident, it is what it is. But like what's more important to me is did we build it up effectively? Did we promote it? Did we market it? Did it become a bit of an event? And in that regard, I think it was quite successful. And so was very happy with the BKFC one. But I do think that this challenge experience and being able to show everyone what we went through in February, March, April, right? That whole time frame, I think people are going to be very surprised.
100%. Ben, thank you so much for giving me some time. I really appreciate it. And there's ever a challenge, champs versus MMA journalists, I hope that me, you, Donna Colby, Jack Fig, and even Gareth A. Davis can team up to take on Johnny Bananas. But before I let you go, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Nah, man. Hey, Challenge Season 41 premieres on MTV July 30th. I'm not sure worldwide where the destinations are, but I know at least within the US, it's on MTV. Maybe use a VPN. I don't want to say pirate it, but just watch it. And yours truly will be on. And hopefully, I will be making a comeback on Season 42.